Good morning, 1M4. I decided to do a little video today to talk about a monster calls because we haven't had the chance to discuss these chapters and we're almost finished with it. So I thought that was important. I hope you guys are all doing well, that you're doing your schoolwork, but you're also taking care of your family and yourselves especially. That's important. Don't forget that if you ever have any questions about maybe something that's related to school or anything, write me a message or write it on the WhatsApp group. If you're wondering about me, I'm doing well. I'm starting to go a bit cuckoo, stuck in this apartment, but as you can see, I've got some stuff to entertain myself. Just finished this puzzle yesterday, 1,500 pieces. You surviving? And don't forget that I have a full board game room, as you can see from the video there. I've got games everywhere. So I will survive. Do not worry about me. So first thing we're going to look at is chapter, I don't know what number it is, but it's called A Note. And it's on page 188. Now, of course, I'm not going to go over everything here together, but there are 2 or 3 things that I want us to look at. The first thing is on page 189 here. Now, of course, his mother is sick and she's at the hospital, and we know that Conor has trouble sometimes to accept this. And a perfect example we have here is the second paragraph. He says, "The weekend arrived and was spent at the hospital, though his mom's new medicine was taking its time to work." Notice the phrasing here. He says it was taking its time to work, not saying it wasn't working. So in a way, it's kind of hinting at the fact that he thinks it's supposed to work and it's going to work. He's not saying, it's not working. He's saying it's taking its time to work. So the eventuality is that it will work, right? So again, it's showing us that he has a bit of denial, right? He thinks that it's going to work. Meanwhile, at school, there's Lily, who is still trying to reach out to Conor to show him that she's there for him. So she gives him a note, right, that she's apparently folded 100 times. And in this note, when he opens it, it says, "I'm sorry for telling everyone about your mom. I miss being your friend. Are you okay? I see you." Now the "I see you," I is underlined like 100 times, right? Because she's trying to refer to the fact that the bully had said, nobody sees you, you are, invisible and things like that. So that's a very sweet thing for Lily to do. We can see that she's clearly a good friend for Conor. Next chapter, 100 Years. Now this is the official chapter where they have the talk, right? You can almost put big brackets on there, the talk. What we're saying here with the talk is basically having the discussion of, listen, I'm going to die, right? Which is always a difficult discussion to ever have, but especially when you're a child and you have to have this with your mother. So of course it's a discussion that they have been pushing back, as much as they can, but now the mother really isn't doing well, so they need to have this discussion. There's something powerful that she says on page 198. At the top of the page here, he gets angry with her. He says, "You lied, you said it was going to work, you said blah, blah, blah," and he's very angry, which is normal. He's upset. And she says, "I did believe it would work. It's probably what's kept me here so long, Conor, believing it so you would." So we talked in class about how she didn't necessarily have the best approach to her sickness, to her disease, right? She was hiding too many things from Conor. But at the same time here, we do see that she did believe that it would work. She really wanted to believe because she felt that she owed that. Elle lui devait. She owed that to Conor. The last thing in this chapter, there's something that I thought was quite strong. On page 199, it says, "And if one day you look back and you feel bad for being so angry, if you feel bad for being so angry at me that you couldn't even speak to me, then you have to know, Conor, you have to know that it was okay. It was okay. That I knew, okay? I know everything you need to tell me without you having to say it out loud, all right?" Now this, I thought, was very sweet from the mother because, of course, in a situation like that, I mean, I don't know, I've never been in this situation, but we often think, oh, j'aurais dû lui dire ça, I should have said this, and, you have these regrets because, of course, you never find the perfect words to say when it's your last words to your mom, right? But she's saying right here, she's taking away that guilt by saying, c'est pas grave, it's okay, I know how you feel, and, you don't need to tell me. So I thought that was very sweet of the mother because it's a very difficult situation for him. Last chapter, what's the use of you? Now, Conor at this point is very, very angry, and he's directing his anger at the monster. He's saying, you should have saved me, saved my mother, and you didn't. On page 201, he says, so he's going back to his old house, his home that he had with his mother. And he says he realized it would probably never be his home again, right? Because he knows that when his mother dies, he won't live there anymore because, he can't afford it. And he's going to go live with his grandmother. Even though he doesn't like that home, it's going to become his new home, whether he likes it or not. So he goes up to the tree, starts kicking it. You said you would fix it. You said it. You would heal her. You didn't. You lied to me. The tree says, I said if she could be healed, the yew tree would do it. It seems that she could not. Again, he's playing with words. He's showing Conor that life isn't just black and white, right? There are always factors that come into play. And that's what he's saying here. He's saying, I thought that if she could be healed, it would be the tree that would save her. But if she could not be healed, then nothing can save her. See? So he's showing that life is kind of in the middle. There's no black, there's no white, there's a lot of gray, right? You think you're doing something good, sometimes it isn't. So that's what the tree is telling him here. It's very poetic of him to say that. Then on page 205, Conor says, I called you. If I called you, it was to save her. It was to heal her. And the monster says, I did not come to heal her, the monster said. I came to heal you. Now this comes as a bit of a shock to Conor because he thinks, I don't need to be saved. I don't need to be healed. My mother is the one that's sick. But what we're realizing is he's here, this monster is here to help Conor with the guilt, the grief, and all these steps that he's going to have to undertake. So that's how this chapter ends. Those are the 3 sections. And in the next video, we will look at the 4th tale. So we're finally going to know what is the story that Conor is going to tell the monster. So until then, take care. I'll probably upload that video next week to talk about that. In the meantime, work on the progress tests that what I sent you guys on WhatsApp. It's important to look at that. And practice the grammar part there. A lot of revision to do there. If you have any questions, you can write them in the comments or send me a private message. Okay? Take care, everybody.